Hello, friends.
Yay.
Welcome to the
The
Cinemondo
show.
podcast. Welcome to the show.
The show.
It's the Cinemondo podcast featuring
Right.
Kathy and Mark and me.
And I'm always excited when there's new horror coming out.
Especially when it's directed by David Gordon Green.
Except for that. Then I'm not very excited about it.
Just kidding.
I'm boycotting his
especially
video.
since it's based on something that I love. I love the original Omen film, the original
So amazing.
1976, I think. It was definitely a 70s. It's a very 70s horror film. Around the time when a lot of films like that were being made, not too long after The Exorcist, where it poses the question, what if the Bible is true? You know?
Yeah.
And those
What
tend to be the scariest horror films for me.
It's funny when they do like, is the Bible real? It always tends to be a horror movie. That was an interesting.
Well, what
Well,
else could it be? I mean,
Yeah,
I know.
it's just
The Bible's
filled with
terrifying.
gore and
Nasty.
terrifying stuff. And
apocalypse and
They're trying to scare you into being good. Be good, or something
Demons
bad gonna
and-
happen to you.
right.
yeah, and there are
just
demons
good
and
naturally.
devils out there that are trying to get you, you know.
Not humans, demons and devils. Humans, powerless.
But
But
the
this
original
film-
film is such a classic.
it's
You know, you wonder.
good.
I mean, it's one of my absolute favorite films, and you wonder
Yeah.
how can somebody do something as good as
Well,
that?
there was Damien Omen 2, which had one great scene, the scene where he falls in
Just
the
one?
ice. I
Just
thought-
one scene.
Well, I mean, there's some good stuff, but I love that scene under the ice. That is really
Yeah.
scary stuff to me. Then there was they kind of had a redo of the Omen a couple of years ago, which I actually never watched. So I don't know. I can't imagine it was great, but I didn't see it. It
It's not
wasn't.
great.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
But this one is called The First Omen, which is a prequel to the 1976 film.
I
that's
think what
kind of
made the
interesting.
original Omen so good is they kind of put it together almost as more of a family drama, and then the horror elements were even more shocking because of that. Because
Cast.
it's having, and the cast was
You have
A-list. So
Gregory
they brought in a
Peck and Lee
prestige,
Remick and
prestige horror. I like to call it.
and Richard Donner, who just was on a string of making just big,
so many
big
hits.
movies that were great. Superman,
And he did
you could ask
everything. All
Yeah.
these different
It's a horror
genres.
movie for grown-ups. It wasn't like
Yes.
trying to make the teenagers scream and in their seats in the theater. It was made
Yeah.
for thinking grown-ups, and it's
Jump
like,
cuts.
yeah, and there's a level of weirdness to it too that you've got underneath that great casting. I mean, you've got Gregory Peck and Lee Remick, who are among the greatest actors, and you put them in a situation where something unbelievable is happening. Gregory Peck is basically reacting to something. I mean, talk about those kind of scary, visceral, scary ideas. What if your family, someone in your family, it's like the Rosemary's Baby thing, where you have, and The Exorcist, where like something is happening inside the most sacred thing, your family.
Yeah.
And
Or Hereditary. I mean, that's
Yes.
yeah.
Very
Same-
similar. Grown-ups, it's about family drama. It can almost be, if you took a supernatural out of it, it would still be terrifying and creepy.
right.
Yeah,
And
the person
I love that.
most in the world is not what you think they are. That is a
Right.
premise
Yeah.
that will never
Yeah.
stop freaking me out.
right.
Exactly.
And this one
Children
is
are terrifying. That's what it comes down to.
this one is directed by Arkasha Stevenson, and she's a LA-based
Oh,
writer and director who went to AFI. And so she's I think this is her first feature. I think she worked on a
Cool.
couple of series, so it'd be interesting. I think she was involved with Brand New Cherry Flavor, that show that was on Netflix. But this one has a great British cast. Bill Nighy is always good.
Oh my
Charles
God.
Dance, Ralph
yeah.
Ineson. So this is a teaser, so it's a quickie, but we'll take a look at it's coming out April 5th, by the way. So
Wow, it's not that far up. Okay.
so let's check it out. The First Omen.
I hope it's good. Are we ready? Are we ready to
Ready.
roll? Do we have is the trailer reeled into the projector?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to start. Ready?
Ready.
After the night when I wake up, I see what tomorrow
don't have to be afraid. This child is his way.
Hi. Ooh. Oh, something going backwards.
Everything
That
was backwards. Most of it was backwards.
Yeah, that was cool. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. It actually, I was totally prepared to not want to not,
Yeah.
no, but it looks interesting. I mean, it looked at first a little bit too styly for me. I don't really like the overly styled type of horror films. I like realism. I like the strange elements to come out of realism, as opposed to coming out of a really stylized, orchestrated, composed horror painting. You know what I mean? But this looked it looked like that at first, but it looks like maybe it's also just a strange kind of a horror film.
Well, I think the fact that it's backwards is interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of that's
Cool
interesting kind of vibe to it. As far as a teaser with quick shots going backward, that sort of makes it makes it interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It definitely was.
I think the last shot with the eyeball and him saying, whatever he said, that was kind of a cool line and maybe sort of brings it all
brings it all together.
So
This is how it works.
Yeah.
Definitely.
this is his way or whatever it is.
Way,
Yeah. I like Nell Tiger Free, who I loved in The Servant. Like that to me was a fantastic horror series. If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to watch it.
She
was
good.
great in that. And what's interesting, she plays this kind of young girl who's very naive and very sheltered seeming, like kind of cult girl, and she comes in to take care of a family. And she was always treated like she was really young, and even though she was kind of gaining power over the family, she always seemed she was playing very young, kind of girlish. It was interesting. I like seeing her she's grown up. Like I'm seeing her in a whole different performances. She gets to be an adult in this film. She gets to be, looks like she's all knowing. I love the idea of the 666 on the roof of the mouth. That was fantastic. Super creepy.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because she's a really good actress and having a lot going on behind her eyes. So I'm very interested in seeing her take this role where she gets to be like a real person and do something with it. That's very, very cool. Looks amazing. Interesting. The poster, it's very old school looking.
Oh, it reminds me of the Exorcist poster with
Exorcist
standing outside of the house in silhouette like that.
Yeah,
but you see the cross reflected on the ground and the.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that was interesting in that trailer and it's the one thing I want to ding it for and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the music was the theme song to Vikings.
Oh,
now,
really?
I don't think you can take a song. I mean, most people probably don't know that, but I've heard that song for how many seasons of Vikings? 7 seasons. Yeah. 7 years of hearing that song and a beautiful intro, a really cool intro to a really prestige series. That seems weird to take their theme song, which, it's not made for the show, but then to take it and put it this, it was very distracting to me. It
might just be for the trailer.
It's genre. It's like a certain genre, and I feel like they could have got a different song with the same kind of chanting feel to it, and not done the exact song.
I also felt that if, aside from the fact that it's a Vikings, another theme song, it just that song didn't quite work for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it could have been, I don't know, it felt a little bit too modern. If this is a prequel, I'm guessing, I'm not sure when it's set, but it feels like it's set maybe in the 50s or
you
60s,
think 50s? She was all sparkly. I was saying disco era.
Yeah, maybe it's the 70s because there was that one shot of being they were dancing or whatever, and it was very sexy. Maybe that was 70s. It just I got a weird sense that the time it was just off. The music was just off to
me the music sounded kind of swampy, like 16 horsepower or something, like a
I can see that.
Kind of slide guitar, like a dobro or something, and
let me look up.
But I like the poster. I mean, if she's a fan, if Stevenson's a fan of the first movie, and if he's going for that vibe, I'm all in.
And gets it.
It's called "If I Had a Heart" by Fever Ray. Is the I think is what the band and the song. So interesting choice. It could be that maybe this person never seen Vikings before. And they didn't know.
Whoever cut the trailer maybe used it, and then they said, you know what, let's keep that. Because sometimes they cut trailers to music and then intending to change the music after it's cut, but they cut to the music just for a feel and a vibe. Or someone said this song is the way I want the trailer to look, you know, and so they cut to the song.
And also they
then
want to have a,
sometimes they're like, yeah, let's just leave it.
yeah, very true. Sometimes they was like, hey, we can't find anything better. So they probably played a bunch of different songs. But I feel like, it played a little, there was a little bit of time confusion in the trailer. Because like you said, like, it's supposed to be a prequel. We don't really know the time frame exactly. Then we have a song that isn't of the time, which is sort of confusing. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like they could have maybe cleaned that up a little bit, a little more concise. But it's no way am I not watching this movie.
Well,
I don't think it's little quibbles will stop me from seeing this
me
film.
too, because I really hope, because we hope and pray every time they reboot, whether it's yeah, we do. We hope and pray. That's our religion, that they don't fuck up Halloween, or they don't fuck up, any of these movies. What's that?
If David Gordon Green didn't direct
well,
this,
so hopefully, because I never feel these movies are ever going to come up to be what the original was, and it's just really hard to do that. Really but if it sort of has that feel and is well made, then I'm
I
excited
love being
for it.
surprised by people. Like I remember before I watched Hereditary, people were saying, "Oh, it's really great. You're gonna love it."
Yeah,
I
was like,
it's like the modern Exorcist, and I'm like, don't even.
You're like, don't even go there.
Yeah,
right.
And then I watched it. I'm like,
The Exorcist.
Right.
Yeah.
But this one has a big, it's also got something to live up to. Hereditary came out of nowhere. It is not based on anything other than itself. But this one has got the legacy of the Omen to stand up to. And interestingly, it seems to be, they're calling it a prequel, and it seems to be about a woman who's going through something similar to Rosemary, perhaps. I don't know, like she's the chosen one and she's going to give birth to whatever. But in the original Omen, the Damien's mother, real mother, biological mother, was a jackal. Remember?
Right.
Born of a jackal. And they go out to the grave and dig it up, and there's the bones of a dog.
Yeah.
It looks like a jackal. It's
crazy.
It says just in the wiki, just a little description says the film follows an American woman sent to work at a church in Rome who uncovers a sinister conspiracy to bring about the birth of an Antichrist.
Oh.
So, you can't trust those churches, man. They're doing weird shit down there.
It did seem like a plan in the first one too. The idea being that they wanted this child to be in that family of a powerful politician, and somebody who's rising in power. And
so I'm not sure how it can be a prequel. Maybe it's just a different. Who knows? But we'll watch the movie and find out.
Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what we're talking about. It's just crazy. I don't know.
But we're fans of the Omen, so we're pulling for this film. So we'll see.
It's produced by David S. Goyer, I guess, and he did Hellraiser, Terminator, Dark Fate, Batman, Man of Steel. Like he does huge shit.
Lots of
big stuff.
Dark Knight, The Unborn.
He's there.
He is genre dude. Bring it on.
All right. The First Omen, April 5th. We're there.
Bye.
All right. Take care.